And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining in.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Monday, March 11th, 2024, and this is episode 651 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled The Wheels Are Coming Off, and I'll be chatting about wheels actually coming off, a sad story from this weekend, daylight savings, thoughts, concerns, issues, and observations, and so much more. But let's first check in with the live crew, the coffee crew in the live chat, and see who's hanging out. And we'll get rolling in just a minute. Good morning. Oh, Haas, good morning from rainy, far northern California. California, man, between the time zones and the daylight savings, it's got to be yesterday in California, isn't it? It's got to be close. It's got to be, 3 hours? Man. Good morning, Haas. How we doing? Let me grab some of that coffee. Let's see who else here. Pip in early again. And asking how everyone's hold on a second. Sorry. Fucking daylight savings time. Can't stand it. Pip says, how is everyone's time travel event? Oh man, it's horrible. It's really, really horrible. It's really horrible. First, let's grab what's in the cup today. We have Morning Pickle Pete. No, 2 West Coasters in the chat. First 2 in the chat this morning. Well, I guess not first 2 in the chat. Pip was in early at about 10 to 6, but first 2 live chatters during the show, both on the West Coast. I think they're still awake from the night before. I think they may still be awake from the night before. What do we got going on in the cup this morning? Of course, on Daylight Savings Week Monday, when I'm really running low on energy and it was tough to roll out of bed this morning, I got some GSD blend in the cup. Yes, that's Get Shit Done blend, which was the first blend made specifically for the Lots Project by Food Forest Farms, my partner in crime from the C4 Club, where I develop coffee blends and white label brand them with the Lots Project label. I come up with a label, I come up with a blend. My man Brian out at Food Forest Farms roasts it up and delivers it on demand. So it is fantastic. I appreciate it every time I take a sip, but the GSD blend actually came from being that blue collar guy, being that homesteader when I started using or when I joined the seafloor and we talked about making up some blends. I said, hey, I want a high caffeinated coffee blend. And when you looked in the store, there was all the juiced up caffeine coffees that they had at the gas station where they had extra caffeine added and all that stuff. And I said, I want one that is about as highly caffeinated as you can get. I want it to be a light roast, but I want it to be drinkable and not cause you to be jittery. And I gave him a few other parameters, and he sent me a few samples, and first shot nailed it. He just absolutely nailed it. It is a fantastic blend that's about as highly caffeinated as you can get without adding extra. And it goes down smooth and it doesn't leave you jittery. It just gets you amped up to go get shit done. And that's why we named it Get Shit Done Blend. You can get it at foodforestfarms.com. Foodforestfarms.com. You can always use LOTS10, LOTS10 for 10% off your coffee order over at foodforestfarms.com. So, man, I'm going to need it today, guys. I'm definitely going to need it today for the daylight savings. Good morning, Hunter, over on Twitch. Thanks for swinging in. How is your daylight savings going? Are you saving the daylight? Does anybody that watches this show, especially live, any of you care about having an extra hour of light at night? Because as Pickle Pete says there, wake up and thrive. Let's get the fuck up in the morning. instead of having to stay. I read a few articles this weekend about daylight savings. It's so the kids have more time to play sports outside at night. What? I've heard every fucking bullshit excuse about daylight savings since I was a kid. From the farmers need the light to harvest the crops. What? What are you talking about? Hunter says saving candles. Saving candles. Pip says he started going to sleep about 6 p.m. He'd like it dark. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Hunter says that's the lie he grew up with, that it was that we have to save save the light for the farmers so they can harvest the crops at night, even though tractors had lights on them since I was a kid. So I like the bullshit that they tell us that we're just like, oh, okay. Pip says darn energy savings leftover rule from World War I or II. Yeah, I read part of that too. I also read that I saw the article in Toolman Tim's group on Telegram that I think it was Chris Dixon posted it. It said the spring forward event is significantly worse health wise for you than the fall back. And this was from a neurologist. I think it was a neurologist that had testified in front of Congress when they were trying to get rid of this bullshit. And yeah, it has a lot to do with your circadian rhythms and lots of heart attacks and depression and sleep deprivation and all sorts of bullshit comes from this, and significantly more in the spring because you don't get the natural rhythm of the light waking you up in the morning. Those morning rays, that dawn, the slow rise to the sun actually wakes your body up. If you've ever been in the woods hunting deer, specifically elk or moose, maybe, where you go out and you have a sedentary spot that you sit. I don't know if you've ever done it, but basically in the morning, so if you're going out and hunting, or maybe geese, something like that, you're going to go out and get set up under the cover of darkness. So when you get up, you look at sunrise, and normally the DNR sets out rules to say, well, you can shoot an animal starting a half an hour before technical sunrise, before the weather app says sunrise is. So you got first light, usually dawn, or first light's a half an hour before sunrise. You start seeing light, you can almost see that's enough light to shoot an animal. So you go out, and usually the rule of thumb is like an hour to two before that, you want to be sitting there, not making any noise. So as the animals wander about, they're not disturbed by you and maybe see you. But if you've ever been out there before first light, like way before first light, and I've experienced this in multiple locations, so I don't think it was something that was like in Minnesota or in New York. But if you sit there, it's super quiet until the very first rays of light start popping up. And then almost like the light wakes up slowly wakes up the creatures in the forest, you can hear it wake up. And it's not all of a sudden. It's not like, bam, everything's making noise and shit. It's slow. It's like the sunrise. It's like the dawn of light. As it comes up, the forest wakes up. Well, your body does that too. As it gets that soft morning light, as it gets that soft dawn light, your body starts to wake up. And as it gets that dawn breaking, that morning light, it actually wakes you up. So when we put the hour, when we spring forward and now it's dark every time we wake up, we miss that. We also miss the sunset and the melatonin production when it's time to go to bed, because the opposite happens at the end of the day. Weird, nature made it so we're supposed to get up and go to sleep with the sun, because it produces chemicals in our body when it happens to both wake us up and put us to sleep. So yeah, this stuff sucks. Uh, Haas Haas says, as an outdoors person, I like it as I get more time in the outdoors with more daylight, hiking, mining, fishing. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it for sure. I think we need, as humans, to adjust our schedule around nature to enjoy the things that we like, as opposed to changing the time. If we need more time in the evening, let's do what we need to do that doesn't require light when it's dark, and not just change the time. Let's not make everybody do it. Pip says, "Hey, you just woke up and you're an hour behind." Yeah. Um. mm, mm, mm. Pip says, I did skip going to Cape Canaveral for the sunrise. Need to figure out how to live stream it on Nostr. I can help you with that. It's going to cost you about 1 to 5 sats a minute. Oh. Pickle Pete says, right. Then I look over at the pine tree 50 feet away is smoking. Yeah, I can't take Pop's honey. I don't know. I've actually talked to many people that yeah, cigarettes don't really bother deer. Cigarettes don't really bother deer. They're actually become kind of curious when they smell things that aren't natural in the woods. So it is what it is. Oh God. Pip says, I'll bug you on that later. Maybe next Monday will be Noster's first live sunrise. Maybe that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting for sure. Anyway, so daylight savings was, I guess it was overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, Sunday 2 a.m. I woke up. I forgot all about it. Really, had mentioned it, was going kind of had knew it was a thing, but got to be Saturday night and didn't think about it when I went to bed. Especially didn't think about it when I woke up on Sunday morning. And we've gotten to a point where we don't set alarms on Sunday morning, Saturday and Sunday morning, because we know Norman will wake us up. And if any of you have pets, you know that the daylight savings, they don't give a shit about what time it is. So that spring forward, they actually sleep a little late, um, and so we woke up on Sunday morning, and my eyes popped up, and I was like, "Holy crap, it's late!" And I picked up my phone, and it was like 8 o'clock. 7 o'clock is usually when Norman decides that it's time for us all to get up, when we get to sleep in on the weekends. And if he lets us get to 7, usually it's if we get to sleep in at 7. And it was 8 o'clock, and I'm like, holy crap, what happened? Oh my God, I slept into 8, and then I was like, oh no, I didn't. It's 7. And I was all confused. But I can't believe I didn't remember it, because on Saturday night, as a tribute to daylight savings, and I don't know if there's other movies, but I for sure know that one movie out there mentions daylight savings time. And so we watched it. And I don't know if you know what it is off the bat, or if you were in the Telegram group this weekend and you saw me mention it, but Slammin' Salmon, you might not even know that that's a movie. Slammin' Salmon is a movie by Broken Lizard. They did Super Troopers and Super Troopers 2, and what else, Corey? Any others that you could think of? What does Broken Lizard do besides Super Troopers? Oh, they've done so many. But they did one called Slam and Salmon, and there oh yeah, Beer Fest. There are several daylight savings references in Slam and Salmon. Three that I know I can think of off the top of my head. So we threw that one out there and we watched it and we laughed. It's a good movie. Club Dread. It's a great movie. So if you haven't ever seen Slam and Salmon, I highly recommend picking it up and giving it a watch. But yeah, they use several references throughout the movie, and we watched it. We didn't think much of it. Actually, I did, and I was secretly curious for myself. Um, Pickle Pete says, "Is that about chasing steelhead?" No, it's about a restaurant in Miami called the Slam and Salmon, Cleon Salmon to be exact. And so I was kind of watching through, and Corey mentions to me on Sunday, we were talking about it, and she's like, did they reference? I said, did you notice that they referenced? It must have been fall in when they made the movie because they were talking about daylight savings, and they were talking about the one reference was, oh, I was at the bar last night and they called last call and I reminded them it was daylight savings, so I got to drink an extra five Smirnoff ices, some bullshit like that, and kind of went through, and I realized that it was the fall back time, and so I was kind of disappointed that it was daylight savings, but it was the wrong end of the thing. And Corey says last night, she says, well, did they reference the same one through the whole time? Because you know how people always get confused about daylight savings, whether you're springing forward or falling back, if it's going ahead or behind an hour. And I was like, actually, I kind of paid attention to that last night because I was curious about it when I heard the first one, and I was going through the mental motions of trying to decide if it was the same one we were experiencing. And they did go 3 or 4 references to it, and they were all proper. But how good would it have been if they just bounced back and forth and see if anybody noticed? So, Slam and Salmon, it's a good comedy. It's a good comedy from those guys from Super Troopers, and I'd give it a recommend. I would give it a recommend. We watch it often. I believe we own it actually. And maybe we have owned it twice. I'm not sure. So that's daylight savings. One other thing, Corey sent me a TikTok this weekend. Why isn't daylight savings changed on like Friday afternoon? I saw the TikTok she sent. I watched it and I really thought about it. And I was like, how nice would it be if you just got out of work early on Friday? And then I was like, but what about all the second shift people that got to come in early on Friday? That sucks. I don't think I've ever worked. Wow. I can't say that. I must have worked many fucking daylight savings when I was bartending. I just didn't ever notice it. Chris Dixon sounds like a Beta movie, like Beta Max. Beta Max? As in VHS and Beta? I actually had a discussion with Corey yesterday about in our lifetime, so my lifetime would be 40, 45 plus years. Think about, if you're my age, think about how many things was better on Laserdisc. Oh, geez. Think about how many things have been invented, been the best technology, and been obsoleted, I guess would be the word, become obsolete in our lifetime. I think a lot of technology advances, but I think we've gone into hyperdrive in the last 50 years because we've had so many things that have come and gone come and gone, come and gone, come and gone. And they were like significant, just they were significant things that were developed and then completely obsoleted right away. We started listing them off, and it just the list is pretty long. The list is pretty long. Pip says looks looks at an old MP3 player. How about dial-up internet, Laserdisc, Beta, VHS, CDs? Yeah, that was the beginning of the list. And then Corey and I just started bouncing ideas off back each other. I was like, holy crap. I think it actually came up. Did it come up because of the plastic car? Yeah, we were talking about Corey's plastic car when she was in high school. She said that her Saturn from the 90s was is a collector's item now because they don't make it anymore. I said, no, it needed to be actually good when it was new to be a collector's item. But we talked about lap belts, lap seat belts, and the separate lap belt with the sliding thing on the side. Where I remember the institution where you had to wear seatbelts and where it had to be a shoulder belt too, not just a lap belt. Because if you got an accident with just a lap belt on, it would cut you in half, is what I've heard. Chris Dixon wonders if we even asked the time if it wanted to be saved. The time had a DNR. Chris Dixon still has a reel-to-reel machine for some stupid reason. Do you have any reel-to-reel films? Oh, Haas, as I did up until a few weeks ago, it was a Iron Man wristwatch. The band broke and I can't replace it. Why can't you replace it? They don't make them anymore or something? Interesting. Excuse me, guys. It's a rough morning. This daylight savings stuff, like we're a day into it. Like yesterday we did a bunch of stuff, but like it was nothing strenuous. I mean, we did go work on property, but it wasn't we didn't get up early. We tried to go to bed early, and man, it's gonna screw with me for the next few days for sure. Oh, it's discontinued. Huh. Interesting. I'm curious if any of the smartwatches I've been seeing look a lot like the Iron Man watches. I wonder if something would be interchangeable or customizable or modified. Could be modified to suit your needs. Rewilder Life says I wear a watch because I don't want to get my phone wet when working. Yep. Cormac says, good morning, all. In late. You're an hour earlier for the next 3 weeks. That's right, because daylight savings is such a scientific thing that we do it at different times throughout the world on different dates. Over there in Ireland, they celebrate the daylight savings 4 weeks from now, or 3.5 weeks from now, I guess. So yeah, and I can't believe Clark isn't in. Clark up there, he is now back on to normal time, I believe, with us. Or is that in the winter? Did he skip the whole winter? God damn you, Clark. So that's daylight savings, guys. That's yeah, it is what it is. From the weekend last Sunday in March for Ireland. Hunter asks if we've seen the smart ring. I have not seen a smart ring, but I do have a couple of emails out to companies about smart watches just to check them out and see if I can do a review on them. We'll see. I'm not a big watch fan. I used to be, not anymore. What happened this weekend? Corey and I decided to go do errand shopping down in the big city on Friday night. We went down. We went to Walmart. That was interesting on Friday night. We were driving through Savannah, and it was like a series of stoplights where you know, when you come up to the stoplight, you got 2 lanes and then a turn lane in the middle going both ways. Sorry, I had something fall in my eye. Man, it's just I'm just a mess this morning. Uh 2 lanes of traffic going each way and then a center turn lane, and as you approach the light, it's only one turn, and then when you're away from the light, it's a dual turn lane. So we're driving through a series of these lights and we're getting up towards where we were going, and we're stopped at a light. Were we stopped and then started going, or was that light green, Corey? Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. We were stopped at a light. We started going, and all of a sudden, the person in front of us puts their brakes on. We look over, and all of a sudden, there is a car tire rolling down the road. Corey assumed it came from the car in front of us. I glanced over. I saw where it came from. Um, and here it goes, bouncing down the road. The car in front of us takes off a little bit. And here comes the hubcap from that car rolling around, rolling the other way across in front of us and up on the curb. And we look to our left, and in the turn lane, in the center turn lane to turn light at the left at the light, is a pickup truck with no back tire. I don't know how it came off, how it flew off, but someone put that hubcap on after not putting the lug nuts on or putting them not on securely. Somehow they loosened all the way up, and this poor person was just driving along and thump. What do you do? What do you do? I know what I did because it was in my driveway when I did it. I dumped the truck off the jack the day we were leaving for this. The day we were never coming back to our homestead in Minnesota. We were getting ready to go, and I did a tire check, and the valve stem core came out. So I had to change the tire, and while I had it up and had the tire off, I dropped the truck off the jack. It sucks. It sucked in my driveway. I can't imagine dealing with it in the middle of a semi busy quote unquote city street. Screw that. I don't know. We went to Walmart, and by the time we came back, she was gone. So I imagine she called a tow truck or something to get her out of there. But man, that was tough. That was tough. I was like, holy crap, the wheels are coming off right here on right here. Pickle Pete. Oh, okay. So the smart ring. Pickle Pete says he's getting one for Chicken Joe for her birthday. Chicken Joe, good morning. Good morning. Happy birthday when it shows up. So that's cool. They're called the Aura, Oura ring. Interesting. Rewilder Life talking about Arizona doesn't do daylight savings. Saskatchewan doesn't do the daylight savings. There's plenty of places that don't do it. Indiana, maybe. Pip, this is perfect. Pip says, oh, wrong one. Pip says, what if daylight savings time was like Groundhog Day? We're not sure if we get the hour or not. It all depends on some random occurrence. Everybody would be up at 2 a.m. going, no, no. Oh man. So yeah, that was it was interesting watching that truck wheel come off and thinking about like how does that happen? First of all. I guess maybe yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've never had it happen. I've never had a wheel come off that I didn't take the wheel off. I've had it fall off the jack, like I mentioned, but I don't think I've ever had a wheel fall off that wasn't supposed to come off. I can't place any time in my life where that's happened. So Chris Dixon says it's 98% human error. That's what I had to assume. Either it was a girl driving that, wasn't it? Oh, Corey didn't notice if it was a guy or a girl because she was trying to miss the tire. I was pretty sure it was a girl, but I've been known to be wrong, and I have misgendered people many times in my life. So I didn't want to say anything and get my pee slapped for misgendering someone. But Pickle B says you just forgot all the lugs. I think it's more probably they didn't torque them, and they loosened up. Maybe, I don't know. I hope. I don't know, because that's what my first thought was no lugs, and they didn't put the lugs on, but they put the plastic hub cover over, because those lock into those lug nuts. And so they literally put the plastic thing over the shittily done or missing lug nuts. Solid. And that was the best. That was the best. That was the best seeing the tire roll. And then after everything, the dust is kind of settling. Here comes the plastic hubcap rolling separately. Dixon says, "What's a non-binary wheel?" Oh, Haas might have said might have been non-binary. I think he was talking about the driver, not the wheel. Oh no. Excuse me. And then on the way home, this is a sore subject. Corey's probably going to be upset that I told you guys about this, but I will anyway. I will deal with the fallout from this, just to bring you guys all the truth and all the news. Pip says the truck just had an oil change and tire rotation, just a bit more rotating than wanted. So on the way home, we went to Walmart, and then we had a nice dinner at Earl's Grill in Crump, Tennessee. If you ever are in Crump, definitely check out Earl's. I've taken Toolman Tim there. He agrees, and Tim's a big dude and can eat and knows his food. So definitely take his word for it and my word for it. But we had a nice dinner, and we were driving home, and we take back-ish roads, as back is, not highways by any means, 2-lane roads. We're driving along, and it's dark, and Corey's got the lights on. Man, if it had been daylight savings 2 days earlier, this might have never happened. We're driving along, and Corey and I are bullshitting, as you do when you're driving home, and all of a sudden, out into the road, and my beautiful bride, as she would, pumps the brakes, swerves to miss, and completely annihilates a possum. Stone cold killer. I think she felt that she was trying to avoid it, but with her actions, she's a stone cold killer. Brakes got pumped, swerved, and hit it front and back tires. Dum-dum-dum-dum. And the poor guy was done, or girl. I've convinced her that it was probably a boy opossum that did not have babies. Haas says, "Damn, did it have babies?" I don't think so. We didn't stop and go back and look. Corey was pretty devastated immediately. She was pretty upset. If you know anything about her, if listened to the show at all, she absolutely adores animals of every type. And that's really how I had to rationalize with her was, do you know how many animals you fed by doing that? It's like the circle of life. It is okay. It is okay. But yeah, she was pretty upset, and it was traumatic. It was that possum had a death wish though, because we were on a straightaway. It wasn't like they couldn't see our lights from well far away, and it waited and waited and waited and then ran out in front of the truck. So I think Corey taking it hard would be a bad thing because I'm pretty sure that possum had suicidal tendencies or a death wish or was just trying to play stupid games and trying to beat the truck because there's no way it couldn't see us coming. No way. For a long time. So I'm saying that it's not Corey's fault. It's not Corey's fault. Chris Dixon says it's the circle of the F-250 feeding scavengers one tire at a time. Rewilder Life says the birds will be happy. And that's what I tried to convey to her that, we watched the little armored one get hit by a car out here. And although we were sad over the death of the little armored one, we were also happy that the vultures and the worms and the maggots and the grubs and all of the other stuff were able to be fed for several days. So we're still working through it. We're still grieving. It's only been 3 days since the possum met its demise on the road on the way home, but we'll make it through. We'll make it through. I am not playing any fish on this show ever from the time that it starts till the time that I'm done with it. Will not be playing fish on my show, Brian. Just so you know. We can throw that one. That is a 100% positive affirmation right there. Did you guys see that old Iron Mike is coming out of retirement? Old Iron Mike Tyson announced, I believe, this weekend. Might have been Friday, might have been Thursday. Not sure. Not sure. Not sure when it exactly was announced, but Mike Tyson is going to be fighting in July, I believe, on Netflix. It's not going to be pay per view, just pay for you if you don't have Netflix or someone that will give you their login or someone that will stream it in their Telegram group, which won't be me because I don't have Netflix. But anybody that does, let me know. I'd like to watch the fight. But old Mike Tyson's going to be fighting Jake Paul. Is that his name? Some guy. He's got 9 fights. He's some sensation. You know what? I saw videos of him dancing around in his bedroom and doing stupid shit on social media. He's got 9 fights. Mike Tyson's got I can't remember what it was, like 50 some. It was like 50 some. I saw training videos of Mike Tyson over the last couple of weeks, and they might be doctored. They might be. They were only like 20-minute snippets or 20-second snippets. So like that isn't a whole round in a boxing match. I understand this. Like I get that they can make him look better than he was, but I was looking at his eyes. I was looking at his face. I was looking at that guy that I watched in the late 80s and early 90s beat the ever living shit out of people and not give 2 flying shits about it. The look in his face is like he was fighting then. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter because holy crap. I looked in Mike's eyes. That dude wants to beat somebody up. And we were talking about like in my Telegram chat, I think it was Saturday morning, like who's on the take. Like this is and it turns out it's an exhibition match. Of course it's an exhibition match. Chris Dixon says he's a tough guy with a marketing team. Is that Jake Paul? Because he looks like it. I'm not saying that I could get in the ring with the guy. I mean, he's a trained professional boxer, but you couldn't. There is an amount. I don't think there's an amount of money on the planet for me to get in the boxing ring with Mike Tyson. You could probably convince me to get in the boxing ring with Jake Paul. I don't know. Won't be cheap. Won't be cheap. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to do it for shits and giggles, but Mike Tyson, no way. No way. And I'm not even worried about him biting ears off or anything. Haas says Dana White won't even give him the time in the MMA because he'd get his ass killed because he would get killed. But man, watching Mike, and we were talking, it's got to be rigged. Like it's got it. A 57-year Mike Tyson's 57 years old. A 57-year-old guy isn't sitting around one day going, "Man, I really wish I could kick the shit out of that Jake Paul guy." Like, there's something going on. Like, it is definitely a publicity stunt, and I don't know if it's on the side of Tyson. I can't imagine that Mike needs the money. Somebody said that his net worth was like 8 to 10 million or something. I don't know. He's got unlimited name credential. He can spin up any brand that he wanted, really, if he needs. They need money. Haas said, "What's weird is they're friends. Dana White and Jake Paul, or Mike Tyson and Jake Paul." Hunter says, "I don't know. I've thought that same exact thought before. What, that you wouldn't fight Mike Tyson?" I don't know. I saw him just absolutely rope dudes. Mike and Jake Paul. Okay. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Which makes me believe that I can't believe the fight. I can't believe the fight. Rewilder might nail it here. It says bread and circuses in an election year. Yeah. Pickle Pete's talking about Tyson's CBD company. Doesn't he have the ear-shaped gummies? And I thought that was the best play ever. That was just an unbelievable Hunter says no kicking the ever living shit out of Jake Paul. Yeah. Yeah. He encapsulates everything that I hate about that generation, I think. No, I don't know. I've heard the guy's name and mentioned. I saw the old YouTube videos of it, or the old TikToks or whatever he was on. And I was just like, meh. Just a clown. Just a clown for the bread and circuses for sure. But I don't know. I can't even know. I've been trying to decide if I can take it seriously. Like, can I take this fight seriously? Can I ever believe that Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that is inside there, that we all saw just demolish people? Can he show up for this fight? Even like withstanding that he's 57 years old, withstanding that he might not be in shape, but he looks like he's in shape, guys. Like, he looks like he's in shape. What can he show up for this fight? Is this something that actually could be legit? And I don't see it. It feels like it's going to be a sparring match or something, or there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and then all of a sudden one guy's going to flop. Yeah, I don't know, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to be real. It doesn't feel like it's going to be real. Welcome to the circus. Pip says, wasn't there a Simpsons episode covering an old Tyson versus Homer? Mike Tyson was on The Simpsons. I know that. I distinctly remember that. Did he fight Homer? Man, I'm gonna have to look back, man. Thanks, Pip. Thanks for sending me down that rabbit hole this morning. Chris Dixon says, I love sports, but it's sports. Can any of it be taken seriously? Yeah, unfortunately, you get nostalgic for the old. You get nostalgic for when you believed in Santa Claus and you thought sports were real. So it is what it is. There's a reason why there's so many people screaming that the NFL is scripted. I mean, it's not it's not because it doesn't look like it. Uh so yeah, Tyson versus Paul coming up this summer. It's gonna be a shit show coming up. It's gonna be a shit show. Haas says boxing is a joke now. Yeah, yeah. Friday night fights. Anybody remember Friday night fights in the late 80s and early 90s? Um Full cards of excellent boxing matches. People you've never heard of, just boxing to box. Um, watching the little guys, the super fast little guys, the welterweights and the featherweights, and then closing the day out with like a welterweight or a heavyweight championship. Every Friday night, man. Every Friday night, it was fantastic. There was some big fight on that card every Friday night, and the undercards were just as good. Were just as good. I don't know. Was it real or was I just naive at that point in my life? I feel like I feel like sports has gotten more show and less substance as I've gotten older. And it might be just that I've recognized the non-substance. But I feel like everything is a show now. People talk about it in the NFL. Somebody makes a 3-yard run or tackles someone for a 15-yard gain and they get up and celebrate. I'm like, one, neither did you get a first down or prevent a first down, whether which side you were on. Why are you getting up and celebrating? And second, what is there to celebrate on a 2nd and 4? You did not win the game. You did not accomplish your goal of getting in the end zone or taking the ball away from the other team. None of it. Why are we celebrating? That wasn't even a good hit, dude. Um Hunter says, I watched my first fight. I was disappointed. It lasted like a minute and a half. Somebody was saying that in my Telegram when we were talking about Tyson and Paul. We were talking about the old Tyson fights. And when you would pay for pay-per-view or get a bunch of people together for pay-per-view, and you would have you would have you would have a bunch of people, you'd be having a party and you'd watch the undercard. Like people would be like the true boxing fans are sitting there watching the pay-per-view, the whole thing, and everybody else is there just to see Tyson. And the main event would come and Bruce Buffer would come out and he'd be like, let's get ready to rumble. And like before the echo stopped in the corridors, Tyson had knocked the dude out 27 seconds, minute and 17 seconds, just stones him. And everybody's like, oh, time to go home now. But the next time Tyson was on that card, you were like forking out money to buy 27 seconds of video. It was fantastic. Big Ol' B says if you got 3 yards, you made an easy third. I'd celebrate. Why? You celebrate because you did your job? That's what it seems like. Everybody needs a congratulations and a celebration because they did their fucking job. If I was a running back in the NFL and you had to get 10 yards for every 4 downs, I would say that my job is to get at least 3.3 yards per carry to do my job at a minimum. And my end goal is to get a first down and then a touchdown. So I shouldn't be celebrating until I complete my goals. And should I be celebrating anyway? Like Barry Sanders, act like you've been there before. Act like you've been there before. Hunter says I wouldn't mind some recognition in my job. Yeah. Tyson parties and charge door fees to pay for the few minutes of fighting. Yeah. No shit. No shit. That was, man, you never knew. But watching in the anticipation and watching the first round count down to see if he just destroyed the guy in the first round was almost as exciting as it ending that fast. Mike's Homestead nails it right there. So not just the fact that it's a 3-yard gain, it's a 3-yard gain on 2nd and 22. They get us. They run for 3 yards. They get up and they're dancing, and you look up at the scoreboard and they're down by 40 points too. So yeah, you can take your Dancy League air scrambling and let's just play football and actually play football. Um, I don't watch it anymore. They can dance all they want. I don't give a shit. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, this week, guys, is it's going to be good for the TikTok conspiracy week episode. I think. I'm pretty sure it's going to be later in the week, maybe Thursday or Friday. But the list is already growing. And I'm probably going to end up doing a poll, or I'm going to have to pick one, maybe two of these stories because they're getting good. And I'm going to tease you a little bit and tell you the storylines that I'm hunting down that I got stuck on last night while I was doing a little pre-research. The first one has to do, and we're going to start way back with old Prescott Bush. Prescott Bush, the line of characters in this are Prescott Bush, the Nazis, Operation Paperclip, Daddy Bush, Junior Bush, Jeb, and oh man, the line that goes through these all, and the spinning it up is going to be fantastic. Pip says, crap, if you two get the conspiracy show going. No, we're not doing it on TikTok. We're not allowed to be on TikTok anymore. Kyle won't go on TikTok with me because he got me banned. Kyle says that I got him banned for 3 days, but my account shows that Kyle got me banned. So this won't be on TikTok. This will be on my show, Pip. You're in the right place. You are in the right place to hear about this. But we're going to talk Prescott Bush. We're going to talk the Nazis and Operation Paperclip and the Bush Boys. Two more generations of Bush Boys, maybe. That's one candidate. Another candidate that I've been diving into a little bit is revolving around P. Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein, Herbert Hoover, and Meyer Lansky. That was a good one. That was a good one for sure. And that was the first of two. That was the first of two episode, and I didn't watch the second one, but the first one for sure led me to the fact that I could definitely talk about P. Diddy, Jeffrey Epstein, Herbert Hoover, and Meyer Lansky and the ties between them. So stay tuned for later this week, guys. One, maybe both, maybe not any of those. If I come up with one better, I'll have to do that. But I'm going to lay it out over the week. Then we'll do a little bit of a poll later and decide what we'll be talking about. And that will likely be Friday. I think TikTok conspiracies of the week works good on Fridays. That's a good Friday leading into the weekend episode. Gives you guys something to read over the weekend or look into. But Pickle Pete says he still wants to hear the Forbidden Tapes. And Rewilder Life is excited about the conspiracy theories. She loves those shows. Those are her favorite, and she needs them in her life. Brian Garcia, conspiracy and fighting. Who's Brian Garcia? Let's wrap it up here. We got about 5 minutes left. Let me see. Ryan with an R. I'm pretty sure it says Brian with a B. Gen G, sorry I'm late. Daylight savings. Good morning, Jen. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Everybody gets a couple excused absences. That's all right. You won't be held on your absenteeism report quite yet. You have several more tardies and at least one or two excused absences, depending on your longevity here in the chat. We noticed that Jim. Oh wait, I should probably check the Noster feed. God damn, guys, I keep forgetting to do this. Oh, I'm sorry if anybody's over there. I'm sorry. Just got an alert. Bitcoin is now above $72,000. Welcome to your all-time high Bitcoin price, $72,181.51. I don't know if that's the exchange. I just saw that it's above 72,000. Mike's Homestead says he used to watch a significant amount of football. So did I. Significant would be an understatement. He says this year I watched 3/4 of football. It was whatever was on for free for me and had to be my team, my old team. You're welcome, Jen. I've saved. I made it so Rewilder Life knows that she has to bring giant fighting gear with you on a vacation. Did I just call you tardies? Oh man. Oh no, I didn't call you tardies. So many jokes. Oh man. Anyway, yesterday, Corey and I got out of the house, even though I guess it's not a house, it's a trailer. It's a home. We got out of our home. Um, have a great week. Haas. Appreciate you. Good morning. Good morning, John Palmer. Thanks for swinging in. We got him. We must have the rotating door in the front of the building. People in, people out, people in, people out. Anyway, yesterday, Corey and I got to enjoy some nature. It was a little cold in the morning, but made it out to Toolman Tim's property, Delinquent Scully. We checked on the elderberry starts, which are looking good. We checked on a bunch of comfrey that we planted. And by the way, Mike's Homestead, that comfrey patch that you provided the roots and the crowns for, looking good, popping up pretty good. The elderberries are taking, the yarrow I planted is taking. Corey and I went for a little walk. We blazed some more trail. We identified some more plants out there. We found some May apples and some more mushrooms. And what was the other thing? Betty, something Betty. I don't remember. Something Betty. They were pretty cool. Looking. But spent some time outside. It was really nice. It was a beautiful day to chop some trail. And we have realized that we've made it from the front of the property to the back of the property in two separate spots. And now we are able to have a loop. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We have the last maybe 30 yards at most to widen out and cut through. We walked through it, but it's not as wide as we want it to be. But maybe another hour's worth of work, and we will have a complete loop on the property that you could hike and walk through, jog through, probably walk dogs through. And maybe 20 minutes to an hour of chainsaw work to just clear some of the larger logs out of the way. But yeah, it's coming along. I'm going to be working on campsites real soon. Gotta retrofit the outhouse a little bit, and then we'll be well on our way to getting campsites open out there at Delinquent Scully. And I'm excited to get Tim down here. He's coming down here pretty soon now. Pretty soon, not too long. Get him out there and talk about some future plans. So Chris Dixon says, thumb the thumb, guys. Thumb the thumb, and have a great day. Chris, I appreciate you being here. Jen, thanks. I appreciate you for that. It is really cool. It's cool to watch this property develop and be a part of it for sure. So I'm excited to keep working on that. That's about it, guys. I was really just hoping to make it through this morning, as man, daylight savings hits me harder than I've ever felt a lot of people for a long time. Coworkers and things like that. I feel like it hit me harder for some reason. And I don't know if it's because I'm trying to gravitate towards being more in tune with nature, if I'm trying to gravitate towards being more in time with the cycles of the sun, or what it is. But man, for the last decade or so, I would say, it absolutely destroys me. I just don't like it. I don't like it. So Jen asks, right on cue, how are you feeling with the time change? I hate it. Sorry, guys. I got dog hair in my mouth. I hate the time change. I absolutely. If you go back and listen to the beginning of the show, I go on a little bit of a rant about it. But anyway, Mike says he checked his comfrey on Saturday and it's popping out. Yeah, Jamie's. We stopped at Jamie's off-grid ping and looked at that whole plant installation that we did, that I did the video of. And man, those crowns are absolutely on fire. The root cuttings haven't popped up yet, but I wouldn't have expected them to already. Really, I wouldn't have expected those to come up. We just planted them a little while ago, but the crowns are just on fire. They're growing like crazy. So if you're interested in getting a fast start, you're going to want to pick up crowns, or you're going to want to check out one of those whole plant, 1 to 2 year old whole plants that I got for sale over at thelotsproject.com or on Etsy. I prefer, if you are listening to this, that you either send me a direct message and we do this directly, or you go through my website, and the last option would be use Etsy and cost me all those Etsy fees. But a sale is a sale is a sale. And Brian says, Pickle Pete says, holy shit, Bitcoin's at 71.5. I'm pretty sure I did a huge announcement where Bitcoin was 72, over 72, because that's what my alert says. So you're a little bit behind there, Mr. Norton. It doesn't matter. It's going to 100 anyway. So for now. Hunter says, I have one comfrey that seems to have survived enough to have leaves on it. I think the other two other ones might survive. They should definitely all survive. But didn't you leave them in a bag for like a week and a half or something? Anyway, it's 5 after here. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to get out of here. Yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone listening. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be in a better focused frame of mind the further we get away from this stupid chime change. But if you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit that like, hit the share, and subscribe to return value for value. Please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers, or listening on your favorite value for value platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. Visit thelotsproject.com to find more information about me. Find all that comfrey, t-shirts, mugs, and other assorted goods in the shop. And find all my links, discount codes, partner companies, and all of that can be found, like I said, at thelotsproject.com. Other than that, it's Monday. It's daylight savings. You might as well just pack it in, go home, guys. Take a nap. Enjoy your afternoon. Stop worrying about work. It'll be there tomorrow. I hope you guys have an awesome Monday, and we will catch up with you tomorrow.
I can feel the sunlight shining in